Hello dear friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm getting a lot of questions about what my life was like before I started doing YouTube and van life full time, and I thought I'd make a short video to talk about that a little bit. I'm from the southwestern part of Norway, from a little town called Bryne, and this is basically in the heart of Viking country historically, and this is where I grew up. I'm gonna take you around, see a few places here. I'm gonna show you my childhood home. I'm gonna talk a little bit about my story, how I ended up doing what I'm doing now. So Bryne, my hometown, is also the hometown of famous football player Erling Haaland, and I actually played football with his dad when I was a kid. When I was a kid, football was everything, and I played every day, and I was on the team with Alfie Haaland, who I played with every second year, basically. I was a goalkeeper, so I was moved a year up every now and then, and Alfie was a year older than me, so every second year I was on his team. So as a kid I spent a lot of time in the mountains, in the snow, in the wilderness. We traveled to cabins, tiny cabins we rented over in Telemark. We had access to cabins in the mountains close to where I'm from, and spent a lot of time in snow skiing, also a lot of hiking. So basically an outdoors childhood and youth period for me. As I got older, I started doing karate instead, and I lost interest in football. So I spent a few years only focusing on karate in my high school years, and then music caught me. So I went to a high school that was focused on music. I basically committed to going full-time music career. So when I was 18, 19, I moved to Oslo and studied music at the university. And I was a guitar player. I basically ended my education in music around the same time that recording gear became digital, and that made it affordable to buy recording studio gear. So I did that, started producing my own music, and I ended up having a career as a music producer in Norway. I signed my first publishing deal with EMI Music Publishing, I'd say around 1990. And then I was with EMI Music Publishing for 12 years, I think, or even more. EMI turned into Sony ATV Music Publishing, and I stayed with them. I also signed a label deal with Bonnier Music in Sweden. So I developed a lot of artists for them under my own label. During my years as a music producer and songwriter, I had a lot of great experiences. I traveled a lot. I had my own studio. I worked with the top artists in Norway like Karpe, Madcon, Morten Abel, a lot of people. And some other rap artists, some rock artists, everything basically. Had several #1 hits, was part of quite a few Norwegian Grammy Awards. Had some great years producing music for the greatest artists in Norway. And as a producer and songwriter, I was pretty much responsible for making good music for these artists. So as my music career in Norway reached a kind of peak and pinnacle, I decided it was time to try something else, and I decided it was time to try to make it in Los Angeles, the capital of popular music for the world, and I was able to secure a management deal with World's End producer management that was run by Sandy Roberton, a British guy based in Hollywood, and I signed with them, and I decided it was time to move to the United States. So I moved to Los Angeles and worked in the music industry there for about 8 years. I was signed to several publishing deals, and I worked with several managements. I lived in Santa Monica, North Hollywood, and the Hollywood Hills, and worked with Kevin Jonas as a manager after I parted with World's End and Sandy Roberton. Kevin Jonas is the father of the Jonas Brothers. My pinnacle of what I accomplished in the United States was working with the Rihanna team, and I had several songs that she was gonna record. But then 2019, 2020 came along, and that changed everything. You know what happened there, and everything closed down. The music industry closed down, and that's when things changed for me. Since I could not work with music, nobody could get together and make music together, and that's when I decided to start a YouTube channel. And in the beginning, my reason for starting a YouTube channel was to show people my Melantopia music that I still use in all my videos. And I wasn't really interested in building a following or making videos for a living. So I just started filming my hikes around Los Angeles, you know, Mount Baldy, San Gorgonio, San Jacinto, hiked all these mountains and filmed it, and I went to the Sierra Nevada and did the Ray Lakes Loop and the Big Siki Loop, and I went to Utah a lot and hiked all of these amazing canyon hikes. A lot of it was canyoneering. And I also went to Idaho and hiked in the Sawtooths, and to Washington, to the Cascades, and Grand Canyon. I hiked for about a week or so with some of my friends. Great times. And some of those videos started blowing up, and then I understood that this might be a future creative outlet for me that might be as important to me as the music. So that was the start for me with the YouTube. So here's my school. This has changed a lot since I was here, but that building closest to here is still up. This is where we walked for lunch. These are all new buildings. This was the old post office over here. This was the store. It's now storage. That's where we bought our snacks and lunch and stuff. And here's the big Haaland mural. here's the stadium where I played football, or soccer as the Americans like to call it. Bryne FK. Changing a lot here now. A lot of building. And let's go up my childhood street. Let's go up my street. These houses were all here when I was a kid. We played in these streets here. This is my childhood playground. Seems a little bit in disrepair now. My childhood soccer field, and this is my childhood home here. This white one. This is where I grew up. My dad built this. These were all my friends living in the neighbor houses here. Kind of cool to drive around and see. ...2020, and I moved back to Norway, and I had started my YouTube channel and had a bunch of good videos from the United States, from my hiking, and I continued doing that when I got back to Norway. I just traveled around in a car. I slept in the car and I hiked all the great places in Norway and Sweden. But then I decided I wanted to have a place where I could be more permanent out traveling, and I got the van just to have a base for being out both in winter and summer. And I made a few van life videos from a blizzard up in Røros, and that really took off. So I started filming more van life stuff, and that seemed to just be much more pleasing to the YouTube audience, and it just kind of developed into its own thing. The van life travel and the Arctic winters became the main focus of my channel, and from there, you know the rest. It's basically been my life now for the past 4 years. Just traveling around in my van, summer and winter, having the base to just live in the Arctic through the whole winter. And that's the focus of my channel now. It's just Arctic life in winter and summer. And it's a completely amazing life. And I've never been happier than I am now. It's just such a fantastic thing to be able to live the life that you want, and I'm not answering to anyone, doing exactly what I want to do, when I want to do it. And that's thanks to the van and you people here on YouTube. and I'm super grateful to all of you for supporting my journey and my lifestyle, and being around, watching my videos, and taking part in this community. It's just the greatest thing ever. And I hope this helps a little bit to explain my background and know a little bit more about my story. So thanks again. And I'll see you next week for a huge blizzard video on November 1st. I'm doing another blizzard, and I can't wait to show you this one. It kind of blew my mind when I saw the footage from this one, so I can't wait to share that. If you loved the previous blizzard from 2 weeks ago, you're absolutely gonna love this one. So I hope to see you on Saturday, November 1st for a massive blizzard experience. Cheers, my friends.